Hi, everyone. We're nearing our last week in our acting theory class, and I've really enjoyed and learned a lot. So, this has been a fantastic class. I think it's been one of my favorite classes. Um, so, I have completed the readings, completed most of the assignments, and then I have gone on with my day and with my life. And so I need to refer back to my notes on our readings. So bear with me as I have to turn to my notes and I have to disengage with you in a way. So apologies for that. But one of the readings was focused on Peter Lobdell's analysis on method acting and particularly Lee Strasberg's approach to teaching method acting. And he outlined that there were two fundamentals of that. One is that actors are juggling with two existences at once, and then the second was that actors must develop the character through imagination and metaphor. So, one area that I liked about this chapter was that focusing on concentration and how relaxation is linked to concentration when it comes to acting. And concentration in the acting context is an active process as actors have to translate what the actor pulls from the script and put it into the physical reality. And so actors are the vessel of what they've taken in from that script. And so one interesting sensory focus that I liked was that of walking in the rain, the actor walking in the rain. And it's somebody who's not really getting rained on. So how do you do that in the sense of the senses, and how do you portray that to the audience that it's raining? And I think that's a really interesting exercise, and it's through your imagination. And how would you imagine that to feel and be? And then another thing I liked with this chapter was bringing the concepts of the imaginative and the real. And I liked Lobdell's quote there that's saying, the imaginative and the real are not fighting for the actor's attention. Rather, they create and allow both to exist simultaneously. And I found that to be really a nice way of putting it. And then the other chapter that we read was Deb Margolin's chapter on the, let's see, I lost my notes, bear with me, Lois Weaver and Peggy Shaw's world, and the Split Britches Theater Company in the 70s. And Margolin kind of, one thing I really loved about her writing is she really found a way to draw me in. And so she found a really wonderful way of introducing this world and her world, her lived experience, and kind of poking fun at herself a little bit here and there, which was great. And she's a very descriptive writer, so I felt like I was right there with her in her first intro to these two women and their approach to acting. So that was very interesting. She kind of laughed at herself, being that she was more of a poet than an actress, and so she thought that that's probably why they invited her, opened the gates to her, because she wasn't a seasoned, for lack of a better term, actress, and they seemed to appreciate her for her writing skills and her thought process. And so she described Weaver and Shaw in terms of where they were before they joined forces, and Weaver was more so trained in acting, whereas Shaw was more informal, more of a pragmatic learner when it came to acting. And she did performances in Europe with Hot Peaches, which was a gay all-male theater, and my son is riding his bike outside, and I have direct access to see him doing so, and he's in the window staring at me right now. So I didn't want to ignore him completely. so um, so that's why I was waving. Um, yeah, and then another interesting takeaway was that even though Weaver and Shaw had different experiences as actors and in the world of being trained as an actor, um, forgive me, that was these Minecraft McDonald's little toys that fell apart right now. They had different experiences, but they still came together with a similar, what they found to be the best approach for them, and that was through lived experience, and that being an integral part of their method, which they also called as like multiple choice acting. And so let's see, anything else that I should add here? So yeah, their approach was understanding the character through personal narratives or personal truths, and I found that really nice. It was a really great read. So that is all for today. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the documentary too. That was fantastic. I watched that while I was cooking dinner, and that was really, really great. And I liked the writing process, the essay too. So thank you, and until we meet again.